Hello WinExp experts, today we're going to talk about the history of Google. Google is, as you know, a search engine of the internet, where you can search for websites, news items, images, videos, etc. Also is Google known as the company that released hardware and software. It's like the most used website to search information on the internet. This is launched by Larry Page and Sergey Brin in 1998. Google began as a research project by Larry Page and Sergey Brin. They were both students of Stanford University in California. The project will involve an official third finder. Scott Hassan, who helped with this project, left before Google was a company. In the search of the dissertation time, Page has been considering, among other things, exploring mathematical properties of the World Wide Web, understanding its link structure as a U-graph. Terry Winograd encouraged him to pick this idea up, to find web pages that are linked to the given pages. The research project is called Backrub, which Ben was joined with. The goal is to develop the enabling technologies of the Universal Library. The two students found it out in the garage at home. Page's web crawler began exploring the web in March 1996, with his own home page serving as the only starting point. The two students found out a technical function to arrange the best URLs by fitting the word. Later they changed the name Backrub to Google. That's a mathematical term which means 1 with 100 zeros. Page and Brin tested the search engine a couple of times and concluded that the most relevant pages appear when you're searching for a word. Scott Hassan and Adam Sternberg were cited by the idea of a search engine as being critical to this. The domain website was available on September 15, 1997, but they formally incorporated their company Google on September 4, 1998. Also, Brin and Page started advertising this new kind of search engine. At the end of 1998, Google had an index of 60 million, which means the project is really popular. At the time, it was still marked as beta version. The search results were better than its competitors at the time. Early 1999, Brin and Page decided to sell Google to the web portal Excite with an amount of 1 million, but later rejected this. In March 1999, the company moved to some offices at the 165 University Avenue in Palo Alto. Many internet users are going to use Google's search engine. While Yahoo was one of the most dominant, is the design of Google simple and basic. Google began selling advertisements with keywords, so there was more money to earn from the advertising companies. Yahoo was still one of the most dominant search engines on the internet. Yahoo tried to acquire Google for $3 billion, but Google declined because the company was more worth than that. In February 2003, Google acquired Pira Labs. This is a company that created blog service since 1999. After this was more able for Google News to have information about blog posts, which was an advantage for its competitors. A Google employee, Paul Boonscheidt, started to work on an email platform where the company increasing internal communications and needed storage. Finally, on April 1, 2004, Gmail was launched to the public with 1 GB storage and other capabilities. The release date led many speculate that it was an April Fool joke, but it wasn't. After the first investment of $100,000 from Time, Google subsidized a series of angel investments. It precedes a formal of $25 million of funding rounds. Google is getting well. It's becoming a trillion company. On February 8, 2005, Google launched a web mapping service that is easy for use if you navigate to the world. First, it only provides step-by-step direction, but until 2009, Google would roll into a GPS navigation by smartphones. Also was the application Google Earth launched with the same idea. The company Android was acquired for at least $50 million. Android is a mobile operating system that is now one of the most used smartphone operating systems. While the Chinese Alphabet was available for Google since September 2000, the server was based in California and was subject to blockades and firewall slowdowns. In 2006, Google launched a subsidiary based in China to move more effectively completely in local. Unfortunately, in 2010, Google was forbidden in China after a phishing attack. After outbidding companies, Google took over YouTube for $1.65 billion on October 9, 2006. YouTube gained access to Google hefty resources. With 2 separated offices, the acquisition is one of the best decisions as YouTube becoming a modern culture on the World Wide Web. It was possible for the advertisement companies to place adverts on their search results every single time a user typed a selection of keywords. This was one of the most costly acquisitions. Google hired some Mozilla Firefox developers and together they made a web browser named Chrome for Windows, which came later to the other operating systems. It had already sandboxed it as a stable web browser with a basic design. This was launched at September 2, 2008, which was the first a new web browser. It's 10 years later one of the most dominant web browsers. The early days of Android were dominated by a lot of weird and ugly concepts of smartphones. Google fell apart from the design of Samsung, HTC and Motorola, etc. Google came with the ugly confusing skins. With cooperation with HTC, Google came with the Nexus One on January 5, 2010. In October 2010, Google had a different idea on the market, self-driving cars. It was loaded up with artificial intelligence and the first grad that cars could be driven by itself. It will become a standalone business, named as Waymo. After a web browser, Google tries to focus on its own created operating system. It will be an open source operating system designed mainly for hosting webs and running netbooks, known as Chromebooks nowadays. On June 15, 2011, the first Chromebooks were available with help by Samsung and Acer. In the same month, Google also tries to make a social media platform on Google. But of the initial, like Facebook email addresses, Google Plus launched a network where you can share photos, links and start hangouts where you can chat with friends. The social media platform became never really popular, despite the layout adjustment in 2017. Alongside all the smartphones and web browsers, Google started to develop another hardware project with an augmented wearable computer which you can use for recording photos and videos. The The hardware came available for developers and group of customers on the waitlist. But before that, it was criticized for privacy risks. So this hardware product was banned. The Google Chromecast began as a small, cheap hardware where you can stream videos and photos with your smartphone or computer to a TV. Nothing changed about the idea of streaming, but became popular with a lot of people. Larry Page decided to reorganize the company to a new name, Alphabet. It consulted a re-instruction of the Google search engine. All the market share of Google are converted to Alphabet. With its reorganization in mind, Google changed the logo on September 1, 2015. This is one of the latest released virtual assistants, but became very popular fast. You can find the software on Pixel smartphones, but later it rolled out to Android smartphones. After the Nexus smartphone series, Google decided to focus on Pixel smartphones. Pixel is the first fully developed smartphone by Google. They tried to make an eco-friendly smartphone. In the summer of 2018, it was proven that Google prioritizing its shopping service in ads displayed at the Chrome web browser, which is preloaded on the most Android smartphones. The fine became a big realization of the policy makers of Google. Google announced that it will be entering the video game market, launching a cloud gaming platform, Stadia. This is launched on November 19, 2019. It only works if you're a subscriber of Google. The quality of game is very high, with a resolution of 4K and 60 frames per second. Google made a lot of products in the software and the hardware, which has popular items and less popular items. It will be followed by more products in the future, like new inventions or a flying car. Thanks for watching, and if you have requests of another history video, please let me know in the comments.